Good evening, everyone. I hope you had a crazy weekend, and I'm happy that we are all ending with the good, tech vibe this weekend. So, welcome everyone for this session. So, before we start with, I just want to you know, uh, revamp the vision of our community. So we are DK24, that is a developer community for Mango. So our vision is connecting different communities all across the Mango, the communities, the student communities, tech communities that is present within the college, outside the college, into one umbrella. So our vision is like peer-to-peer learn, where the people representatives or the community members from different communities share their knowledge across all the communities. So we are so which facilitate us to keep in touch with each and everyone across the community and also share the latest you know uh, tech stacks, knowledge from the industries and from the different resources. So that's our main. And here we are a group of students who are beginners and we are having the alumni who are working in different industries and also we are having different tech experts from different industries. So we are all bridging the gap between the industry knowledge and the college curriculum so that we will excel ourselves with the skills that's required for the current trends. So Gaurish has shared our official website link, the chat box. You can just check it out. They will where you can keep track with all our events, all the communities that are present in this umbrella. So now we'll wait for 5 minutes and we'll start with the session. The
I don't think so. We need 5 minutes as well. We might soon hit the maximum cap of Google Meet, I believe. Not sure what is it exactly, but Google Meet cap. It's 100, I believe. Oh, we might have to switch. Am I audible, by the way? Hopefully.
yes, Devish.
Yes, you are.
Okay. If I lag somewhere in middle, just let me know. Yes, I can see the charts. We have 80 folks then. Awesome. Six ahead. Yeah, possibly we can start. Why waste everyone's time? Okay. So don't mind my PPT. I'm just trying to optimize things. If you were in Hackers Mang yesterday, it's the same thing. Just same thing. Okay. Mm, So yeah. So welcome everyone for the sessions on DevTools. Uh, is there a repeat audience who have been in Post United meetup, which happened in Manipal.net, I believe, in December or February? I don't remember the exact month. So I had covered a little bit of DevTools there. So I had showed the tools which I use daily for my work, but it has been like 6 or 8 months. I have added some more tools into my arsenal, like what are all I use on daily basis to debug things, to maybe what do you call improve the performance of some things. So like those are the things which keeps me curious. So before diving into it, let's just talk a little bit of philosophy on. I won't take much of it. Just a little philosophy on what are dev tools, why you should use them, and what are the topics we will be covering in this kind of workshop or a session mainly. So dev tools, as the name suggests, developer tools, and the dev tools which we are focusing right now in this particular session is the browser dev tools, which is available in your browser by default. It can be Chrome, or if you are a Mozilla guy, Firefox guy, then it will be in Firefox. So basically all the browsers, there are browser dev tools. And there comes like many other dev tools as well. There are React specific dev tools, React profilers, and all those things. I might dive into those as well if I find some time at the end of the content, because that's something new. I never discussed it with anyone. So it's a good chance for me to like show how to debug React applications and how to improve the performance of your React code basically, because that's like a crucial thing which people miss out on when they develop with React code. Uh, Apart from that, like there can be dev tools for a specific library. For example, if you are a part of Hackersmang yesterday, I had told about TanStack query or React query. So in which I showed like how we cache things and we optimize the performance of our application by using React query by caching, prefetching, and maybe like event-driven like API calls, all those things. So in that, we use the developer tools for TanStack, which is called as TanStack query. So I had gone through like a little bit of overview through it. So there are a lot of dev tools you will come across. Like whenever you use one or the other library, each and every library will have dev tools. At one point, you will have more dev tools than the code which you write. It's totally fine. It's just make your life easier. So it's a good segue on why we should use dev tools. So as a developer, the most important thing is your time. The least amount of time you spend on a problem, the more efficient you are, and the more like better app you will be building. So to spend the least amount of time, you should know to optimize each and everything which you can do with the help of the tools which are provided out of the box, whether it is a library or it is a browser or it is maybe something which is inbuilt in your system. So that's where developer tools actually come into play. You can simulate a lot of things. You can emulate a lot of things. You can like try your application in various edge cases. What will happen if my app runs in like a slow 3G mobile? What will happen if someone is in maybe Frankfurt, Germany, and they open my site? How will they see the dates? How will they see the currency? Or possibly like what will happen if someone is on a very high CPU and they are running my app? Will my app crash? Or what if there is a big chunk of file which I am loading and it is taking a lot of time, it is blocking the main thread, and like how will it perform? How fast will be my page? How much time will it take for my page to load in the other person's what do you call device? And the best assumption as a developer which you should make is every time your client will have the worst possible device you can think of. That's where developer kind of mess up because you will be using a very high-end device. It may be a MacBook, it may be a good Windows gaming laptop, and everything will run very smoothly in your laptop. But the thing is, the other person who is using our product, they might not have that such a good setup. So they will be using it like maybe a 6-year-old phone or maybe a 10-year-old laptop. So you might have to keep all those things in mind, like what will happen when the CPU is very less, the network is slow. Yeah, these are all the things why you should use developer tools. It just makes your life much, much, much easier. Like I will just go through a few tools which I use daily while debugging things in my levels work or maybe in my personal project, how I like emulate things, simulate things in the developer tools. So it's like pretty quick. So yeah, that's the entire philosophy on why I want to give this session. It is mainly because one, I want you all to know what and all tools are already available out of the box, which you can use, and you may not be aware of it. There may be some tools which you are aware of it, but don't worry. Like there might be one or the other things which you feel, okay, this is something new. I should have known about it. And also, if I miss something, please feel free to like point out in the chat so that I can also learn something new. Developers, like I can guarantee tell you, I don't know entire 100% of the browser developer tools. I only know few selected features. There might be some features which you have used, but I never use. So can so it should be open discussion. So that's the entire point of this DK24 session. So it's a discussion, not a one-way communication. So it will be very good if you unmute yourself or type in the chat box. I have chat box open on my right hand side. That's why I'm saying again and again on the right hand side. Don't think like I'm copying something. Okay, I'm just saying whether there are any questions on the chat. Uh, so if you have anything, just feel free to let me know. And yeah, by this, maybe we can start the session. This is the first and last slide of the PPT. So don't worry, we'll directly go into like what do you call playing with the browser developer console. Okay, so first thing first. Hello, we are developers. We just copy paste. Yeah, we do, but just make sure what you copy pasting. Don't copy paste any Linux commands without knowing what it does. I have faced some consequences. Okay, so this is a simple page. Like maybe if you want, you can try it hands-on as well next in your computer or laptop. Okay, I will go with the application first. Next, first I will just show you the overview of developer tools. The first thing first, how do we open it? So there are multiple ways. You can right click, inspect, that will go to this beautiful kind of window, which is called developer tools. If you don't like to use mouse like me, you can just use like Command Shift I, or maybe Control Shift I if you are a Windows user, or not Command Shift I. Okay, I messed up. Option Shift I. Command. What is that thing called? Command Option I. Yeah, my bad. I'm hallucinating things. Or you can use F12 as well. Okay, don't worry. You get the gist. Okay, so inspect element, and I'll just zoom it a little. Just let me know if my screen is not visible or something. And by that time, like, just please introduce yourself in the chat, or just like write your name, write your college, that there will be some activity going on in there. And we also can know like how much area are we covering in terms of Mangalore, or do we have any participants from different colleges? Yeah, attendance body, basically. Yeah. Okay. So that's how we open developer tools. Go inspect. And there are quite a few things. Madan Shetty. Yeah. Hello. Yes, you can unmute yourself. Okay, no problem. Maybe it was an accident. Yeah. So I'll just go through the tabs. I'll give you overview. So this is the element tab. You would have gone through it like a couple of times. This is where you can see the HTML of the page. You can like use this tool. This is a very handy tool. I use it like basically every day. I can just click it and I can hover over the element which I want. For example, I want this particular text. Maybe I want this customized Chrome. Okay, now I am highlighted here. Then I can just edit things. This is like basically common. Like when we were kid, we used to call it hacking, but it's not actually hacking. It's just happening in your device. So yeah. Then comes your console. The console is basically your, it's kind of a JavaScript runtime. Basically, like you can run all the JavaScript code here. Console.log. Hey, mind my keyboard. So it will just log it. Okay. So there's a quite interesting story like about the console. Um, Actually, JavaScript was never meant to run servers and backend and all those things. JavaScript was only meant to run on this console, but people thought it might be a good idea if I remove JavaScript from the console and make it usable in terminal. So that's how Node.js was born. So they are making use of JavaScript in terminal, and you can run JavaScript applications in your own local system without depending on the browser. So that's a little bit history about JavaScript. I can like tell you more about it. This like quite a nice history. This console, this is basically a JavaScript console. Okay, then there is sources. This is your source code basically. So if you are in development mode, you can see each and every file which you have in your text editor in this source folder. It's very handy when you are debugging things because you don't want to jump around to your code editor or browser again and again. You can just see the files in the sources. But since it's a production application, either it will be minified or it won't be visible that easily. It might be hidden somewhere downtown. So yeah, it might not be much prominent in like production. This is a production file because it's a Google Chrome. But if I run a localhost application, you can easily see all the files in here. This is a very interesting tab, the tab which I love a lot. So yesterday I talked a lot about this thing when I was using React query. So this is where all the network requests are made. So when I refresh, you can see just one refresh when you loaded the page, so many requests were made to the Google servers or maybe the servers which is providing one part of the page. So it's just so beautiful. Like you never know what and all is happening in the background, but there is so many things which is hidden from us, which you can just go into the developer tools and see. Okay, notice, okay, they are getting this icon from like somewhere it is hosted in the Chrome. Maybe I guess it is in the local system files of Chrome. And if you go more down, they are loading fonts. They're loading fonts from fonts.gstatic.com. It's like kind of you're digging into things, getting into the crux of things and everything. I'll go more about it. I'm just giving a demo now. Performance, this is a beautiful tab where you can run a profiler. Profiler is basically like you are testing your app, how it will load up, and it will give you some scores based on some benchmarks. So the benchmarks can be like how fast did your page load? How fast did the highest priority or the biggest part of your page load? It might be an image, it might be some kind of video, it can be a big like file or something. How fast did it load? And is there a layout shift? For example, what happens is whenever you so in React application, it happens a lot. You load a page. After some time, some extra element gets added, and entire content goes like moves around. So that's actually very bad UX. So it will calculate that, and it will tell you overall score of the website, like how well performing the website is. Then this is a memory tab. You don't have to worry much about it. If you're curious, you can go into it. But I rarely use it. Maybe never used it. This is another good tab if you are into like local development and you want to use like local storage, or if you are using service workers, which are a good way of caching actually service workers. Kind of annoying, but a very good way. And you can see all the like storage here. These are all the local storage, what and all keys and values they are storing. There are session storage. Session storage and local storage, the difference between them, if you don't know, is session storage will get replenished or it will get deleted after you refresh the page. So it will load again. But local storage is persistent. It won't go after a refresh or after you open a close or open a new tab. So that is basically persistent. Session storage is just for that particular session. So this is a session. If I close this tab, I open a new tab. This is a new session. But the local storage is still the same. I guess hope it conveys what I'm telling. I'm seeing the chart. Okay. Who is from Harvard? Wow. What is IndexedDB? IndexedDB like another kind of like people use it a lot. It's basically a small key value database which is in your browser. It can store a good amount of data. I don't know what is the cap, but if it's very hard to use actually. There is a library called as Texi, Texi.js. So it makes it pretty much easier if you are using IndexedDB. IndexedDB is a like in local storage. The problem is like it's like a simple key value where, but IndexedDB you can go like nesting and you can like create deeper level objects and all those things. So it's like pretty nice. You can maybe try this out. Cookies are basically like if you are authenticating and all those things, the cookies will be stored in the browser. Yeah, and all those like similar things. I never used much of it, but yeah, maybe in future I might use. Lighthouse. Oh, this is the performance one. This tells you like for this page, like when I record, this tells you for the entire what you call process of the page from like refresh till the page actually loads. So it just automates it. This is just for a brief second. Once I press enter, I click something, then I no wait. Once I press it, I'll go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a good one. It did my net die. Mm, it's the one thing. Okay, link. I'm not sure whether I'm logged in. It's not loading up. Right, I'll just go deeper into the website. Is there a problem with my screen or some sort?
Kind of laggy, baby.
Hello? Hello.
Camera is this way.
Okay, I guess I'm back. Sorry for the that. I don't know what happened, but the internet just died for a second. Stupid internet. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's go to performance.
Did you just leave the call? Yeah, he'll be back in a minute, folks. Just some technical issues.
Okay, if it's gonna take some time, then I have something funny to do. If anyone has done this, let's find out. Anyone done this before? Just to keep. Oh,
I see what you're doing there.
I'm not getting the image right. So, can someone send me DVSK image? I will edit this at pretty quick. DVSK. While Divesh is setting it up, I think everyone can try doing this. Maybe we'll get some gist of how this dev tool works. You have the colors here, font size, in pixels, 24 pixels. Maybe this will help you out to explore more of the dev tools. There was box shadow was there. I can't remember where it is. You see the layout. It's a padding, border, margin.
Guys,
I
really sorry. I
okay.
don't know what happened to the internet. Thanks, Kevin, for at least covering up. And I hit this. Yeah, I'm on mobile data now. I don't know how reliable this is now.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's do this. Let me share my screen. Yeah, folks can keep the camera on. It will be good. But yeah, it's fine. Let's just share. Let's do this. Done. Yep. Okay. So just let me message me or something when I go AFK. I don't know. It was working, but it was not loading the site. Okay. So yeah, coming back to the topic. So I was talking about the performance tab. Hopefully, till where were you hearing me? Till Lighthouse?
No, I think we were in the performance only. Like
Yeah.
you were going to show something.
Okay, yeah, okay. I covered Lighthouse, then I came back to performance. Okay, nice. Okay, so the performance is basically it will just take a particular clip of the site, like all the movement you do, then it will tell what is the score based on that. Lighthouse will basically take your app from the refresh till the final state, which will be like maybe once the page is loaded. or all the assets have loaded. So that's the main difference between performance and lighthouse. Lighthouse is a performance, but lighthouse is basically a performance, but like in a larger scale. Performance, you can have a minor interactions. I can show that. So in performance, just click this record button. Now maybe scroll the page. Stop recording. So now this is a beautiful site you will see. Yeah. This is something called as flame graph. And it's quite interesting if you want to dig deep into it. It's like what and all functions actually executed in the browser when I just did the scroll. It was like how much? 3.4 seconds of scroll. And these many like things were getting invoked and executed. So request animation frame, it was requesting the, like, it's basically like, what is the next animation? So it is basically refresh rate of the browser, if I can tell you. So that was happening like 34 microseconds. So that's so fast the things are running. Yeah, Jarvin, any questions?
Yeah, now if I see those different colors, it looks nice, and if you click on it, you'll get some function. But how do I get more insights from it? Just
Yeah, the thing is, I use this like there are two kind of flame graphs. One is JavaScript flame graph, and there is a React flame graph. I use a lot of React frame graph because I deal with the React code. In JavaScript, I actually don't I didn't dig much into it. But the thing I know, if you just click a function, it will show you a call tree, like where it was called. This is an animation frame, which means like it was fired by the browser. So there was no function which invoked it. If I find any function, I don't know, we are calling any function in this code. I can maybe show it in an actual running code or something. Because here, everything the browser is doing, we are not calling any JavaScript function. If, for example, if I scrolled and there was a function which ran like on scroll, which did something, which did a API call or something, then I would have seen a call tree here, like which function called which function. So this is useful when you want to find a bottleneck. For example, in the browser, you see like, okay, this is very laggy. So you can actually get into the root cause why it is laggy. Like you can see, this is zero point 0.2 millisecond. At one point, there will be a frame like or a call which might take like a lot of milliseconds or seconds. So you can, okay, this is the function which is causing that problem. I can't demonstrate it much because this is just a static site. Can maybe show it when we just go into a good dynamic site or something, like which has a lot of functions getting called and all those things. Okay. Um, and these are about the animation. If you notice, when I scroll, there was an animation of pop animation which just came, like the text just faded in. So this is how the animation ran. Just show you like, so it also shows like how much time it took and what it did in animation. Like it was a scale animation. It just went from small, it increased in opacity, then it scaled up. That's the animation thing. That's pretty beautiful thing. Um, yep. Now, wait, summary. Maybe I went too far. Just close this. Okay. So that was about the performance tab. So then you can see like all the metrics. I can just run it once again. Maybe it was too quick. Yeah, network performance. I'll just scroll to top. Performance. I'll just run it. I'll scroll down. So animations are already done because it happened already. So this time I don't think so there will be any animations. But these are all the things which ran, like basically bottom up. The bottom will be the first thing which ran, then coming up, the last thing which ran. And the call tree, then event log. You can dig much deep into it, but I just know the top of the iceberg around this kind of thing. And it also shows like how much time each particular thing took. So scripting took around 34 milliseconds. The system to render took around 34 milliseconds. The page rendering and the page, what you call actual rendered in the browser, it took 8 milliseconds. Painting, it only took 7 milliseconds. So painting means like adding the CSS, then showing it up in the UI. So that's basically a pipeline, which is a like I kind of want to go into it, but I never got the chance to get much deeper into it. So like if you're curious about it, you should check out like how a browser renders a page. So there's an entire pipeline which runs. So first the HTML get loads, then the browser paints the CSS, then it runs all the scripts. Then if it wants extra script, it will like go to the server, it will fetch it, and it will run. That is basically hydration, which is happening. So that's a very good thing, which you can just, if you're curious, you can have a look. Okay. Um, okay, let's close this. Now I'll show you Lighthouse. So Lighthouse, if I just analyze page load, see it refresh the thing. Maybe I'm in mobile. Wait, let me cancel this. Let me get to desktop. Did I lose everyone again? Hopefully not. DK24. Again.
I think Devish, your voice is breaking.
Uh, what about now?
No.
What the hell, man? How come Bangalore net is so bad?
Okay, now it's better.
What are you using?
I think Devish is best that you turn off your camera because that's why I turned
Yeah, I
off.
can say some bandwidth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, like the net in Bangalore is very bad. I faced it personally in a lot of places.
No issue.
Kothur being a hilly region has such a good internet. Like far better.
Yeah, I think the right now it's peak timing for most people to use the network. So if you're using your mobile network, then you will have less bandwidth because many people are there.
Possibly. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
So
okay, let's come back to Lighthouse. So I will analyze the page load. So it will refresh the page. It will do all the things by itself. I guess this should be enough, but it will take some time. See, now it knew like there is not much to render, so it just skipped that part, a lot of part. So now it shows you the scores, the Lighthouse scores. The performance was 89. We can see why it went wrong by just clicking it. Let me expand it. Yeah. So this TLS, like there is a full form for that, cumulative layout shift. So there was not much layout shift happening, so it gave it a full marks. Then there is TBT, total blocking time. So we never blocked the main thread. So again, going a little deeper into the JavaScript world. So JavaScript is a single-threaded language, we all know. If we block the main thread, there will be nothing else executing in the browser because we are basically like running a infinite or a very heavy function in the JavaScript call stack, and the event loop is just waiting for it to get over. So until it doesn't get over, the browser will block all the future resources to load. So that's why people recommend like don't like load all the packages at once. There is a concept of like bundling. There's a concept of like code splitting and bundling, all those things. That's everything because you are trying to split things as much as you can so that you put minimum load on the browser to execute things. Then there's largest contentful paint. This is like what was the largest content in our site, and how long did it take to load.
You're lagging, Divesh.
And how long did it take logo or the image which has it?
Your cursor bit, by the way.
What about now? Is it good now? Hello.
Nope. You're getting cut off like badly.
I can see his screen moving, but I can't hear him. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not talking that so.
Oh, okay. That was funny.
Okay. Hopefully you can see things now. Okay. Yeah, so I was talking about the image which you have on the right hand side. It took around how much? 1.7 seconds to load. So if I come back to the network tab, let's go to image and let's see. I guess this is the image which we load. Maybe it didn't load because I got disconnected. Like it just cleared everything. We can do it again, no problem. Till then, I'll just cover everything. And this is the first contentful paint. So the difference between first FCP and LCP is basically first contentful paint means when was the first content which was painted. So it was after 0.9 seconds, which is not that good. It took a lot of time to paint. It should happen ideally like they will give you a metric. If you go, I don't know the exact number. Maybe like there is a metric for that. I guess it's 500 milliseconds or 300 milliseconds. Not exactly sure. But yeah, then there is speed index. Like how much time paint means like all the CSS like basically happened like what do you call the browser took the CSS, it passed it, and it converted it into a what do you call page. So that's basically painting, your normal brush painting. So that's the thing. So only CSS, I believe so. That much because JavaScript doesn't comes under paint. That much I know. Rethinking. I guess I'm 90% sure. Maybe we can discuss that. No problem. Speed index is basically like uh, how much time it took for the page to load from like start to end. So it was 1.9 seconds. And this is 1.9 seconds because this took 1.7 seconds. And like this is the one bottleneck which you have. If you improve this, the speed might improve as well. Okay. Let me come back to chat. Just paint include images. Yes, it includes images. Correct. Yeah. Yeah, CSS and images. Yeah, straight up clarified it. Yeah. So basically, whatever things you see in the screen is basically painting the screen. Okay. And it gives you some like tips also. So if you scroll down, it shows, okay, the largest contentful paint was this thing, not the image. Okay, we made wrong assumption. So it was this part. And why it was this part? Not sure. Okay. Interesting. Maybe because of the gradient or something. Okay, that's nice to know. Then minify JavaScript. Okay, this is yeah, one more thing. This is actually something which I should have done earlier. Always try to run Lighthouse in incognito mode, because if you run it in your normal like browser, then there will be extensions which will cause some problems. So here, if you see, there are extensions which I'm using. This is React DevTools. Then there may be one password and all. So those sometimes cause the page to delay and all those things. And there are sometimes the extension can also like ruin the page layout and ruin the page performance. So we have faced a lot of bugs like it because one like someone had an extension which was maybe ad blocker or something else. Because of that, they were not able to access some functionality of our site, and it was like basically not rendering properly. So always try to do it in incognito. That's what I recommend. Okay, so there will be extensions which will cause some problems, and you will just spend time debugging it, even though it's not your problem. Okay, so that's about the performance. Let's do one thing. Let's go to network tab. This is a profile tab. I'm not sure whether it will work. It works mainly on development. Yeah, either development or profiling of React 16 v16.5. So it doesn't show much in the what you call production version, and even if it shows, it's like mostly not humanly understandable because it's for a good thing because they don't want to disclose like the website's like internal code or internal working to the browser so that people can see and exploit it. What about 3D models? I believe it will affect it. Yeah. Either what you can do is to improve first contentful load, you can basically lazy load it. So lazy load is basically it is telling the browser, deprioritize it as much as you can, load all the other things first, and then if you find time, then load this asset. So by lazy loading, you allow the browser to like actually render the good part with the usable part first. Then you can render the like big images or maybe the 3D models later on. But there are ways to optimize it as well. Like and didn't work much with 3D, but because there are sites which run very smoothly with 3D, there should be one or the other way to optimize 3D models. Okay. I will show the React profiler later on, maybe with some actual code which I have. Yep. Coming to network tab. Okay. This is something I can like talk about for a while. Okay. And let me know if I'm getting boring or something. If you feel like this I already know and maybe I can skip a topic or something, just let me know in the chat. Constantly monitoring it. You won't see my face because I turned off the camera. Saving bandwidth in city. I mean, yeah, that's why I'm living in a city. Maybe not. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. And let's talk about the network tab. So the network tab basically records what and all requests your site or the browser makes to the external servers. So for example, if something is in your code and the browser or your website is using it, that won't be recorded in your network tab. But if it is like calling an API or getting an image from some CDNs, or maybe getting a video from somewhere else, or maybe getting JavaScript files from a server. So all those things will be recorded in this network tab. And it will only record when you open this network tab. When I close this and when I refresh the page and I open the console, the network tab will have nothing because it has to be open when you want to see things getting recorded or if you want to record something. Okay. So now let's reload. Now let's go to all. So now just when the site loaded, these are all the requests which it made. Now if I scroll, there might be more requests. If we have some content down here, no, we don't. So it's not making any requests. Okay. So let's like what do you call divide things like what and all were requested. The first thing first, whatever page you request, whatever website you go, the first thing which will load is this document, which is HTML. Okay. And here it's just this much. It's just like a template. This is actually bad. Maybe we can improve this. This might affect our SEO. So you should try to get as many things as possible in this particular HTML document. I believe the reason is because we are using client-side rendering in our XJS app. So that's why this part was in server. Basically, the navbar was in server, but everything else was in client and it didn't load up or something. No, I'm just making assumptions at this point. Even though the code I wrote, but it was AI which wrote actually. But yeah, maybe we can improve that. So people, please take note. Maybe you can create an issue on it. So this is the HTML document. So whatever website you go, this was the first thing which will get fetched from the server, which is the HTML document. And it took only 90 milliseconds, which is the best thing. And if you see the priority, it is the highest priority. So if you don't have this HTML, then whatever else you render is basically useless because where will you show it if you don't have HTML? Okay, coming down, this is the font which got loaded. So we are using one certain font. So that got loaded from the server. So Netlify already like stores it in next static or maybe any other file. So just fetching from the Netlify server. Okay, one more thing I would like to clear here is, so you might think my site is static, it doesn't need a server. You are wrong. So if you are hosting or deploying a site somewhere, you need a server to serve the pages to you. So whatever I'm getting here, it is getting sent by a server. In this case, this website is hosted in Netlify. So Netlify is acting as a server, which is sending me all the files like this particular font or this CSS file. All is getting sent by the Netlify servers, where my actual app is hosted. Hosting an app is basically you are storing the HTML document in a server and you are just accessing that HTML document. So to be really honest, you don't need Netlify or Versal to host your apps. You can actually host it in S3 bucket as well in Amazon for free. Because S3 is basically a kind of a bucket server, a static bucket which stores file, but when you access it, the browser will render it. So a fun fact, most of like there are the first page when you go to wait, I clicked the wrong button. Levels.fyi. This is actually getting served from S3 bucket. Like that's kind of fascinating. Even I was surprised. But the pages like all these, not this one. This is also in the S3 bucket actually. This one is in like Next.js and it's hosted on AWS, ECS, I believe, Elastic Container Service. But this thing is getting rendered from S3 bucket and we have mapped the domain to it. And it's like it's written in jQuery. That's why like there's a whole history for that. And it's faster. Okay, what is the S3 bucket? So okay. So have you come across like cloud providers, AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure? So they have multiple services. And AWS has a particular service called as S3. S3 is basically a file storage system where you can like store files, upload files, and everything. And you can like either keep it private or you can expose it to the public internet and you can use it like from the URL which you get. It can be like s3.aws.com and some random gibberish URL, and you can access it. Uh, and similarly, there are like I don't know what is the equivalent in Google Cloud. I guess it's Google Cloud Storage. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. Yeah, simple storage service. S3. S3 means basically simple storage service. SSS S3. So that's how they name things in Amazon. Okay, coming back to topic. Now if I come here, there's a CSS file. There's a logo which loaded. The logo, you can see the size of it. It is 0.1 KB. Well, I guess this is this logo or something. No, it is preview. Yeah, it is. Oh, it is this image. So it was just like 0.1 KB, and it loaded in like 87 milliseconds, which is actually good. So that's a good part. Maybe we already compressed it, and it's a WebP. So always try to load assets in WebP. That's actually recommended format, and it's faster as well. JPEG and PNG might take some time. Okay, don't ask me why, because it's a complete what you call different domain which you can just go into the rabbit hole on how JPEG image renders, how PNG renders, what are the differences, lossless conversion, lossly compression, all those things. Yeah. Then if you see there are a lot of JavaScript files, like basically everything is JavaScript here. So this is a minified React code. And those people who are like new to JavaScript world or new to React world, just keep it in mind, right? Browser doesn't understand any other language apart from JavaScript. In whatever language you write the code, whether it is like React or maybe like, or it is using JSX, or if you're using like Vue or maybe any other random framework which like happens every 1 day or 2 day, or if you're using TypeScript, so browser will never take those code like raw. It will always get either parsed or transpiled to JavaScript. Then it will be like the browser, then it will be able to read it. So basically, the entire React code, which the React compiler or the React how they have set up their like entire pipeline of conversion has converted it to plain JavaScript, and the browser renders it. So if you think about it, all those things like React, Vue, and Astro, or maybe Astro is more of HTML thing, but there is also JS in it, or maybe any other framework or library which you use, it's just to make your life easier, not the browser's life easier. It is actually making the browser's life a little harder because uh, there is a lot of code which is compiled from React to JS and it is might not be optimized that much. So it's just for a developer convenience. So we write React and all. If you write, if you try to make a dashboard in plain JavaScript, you will know the pain. Like you have to manually fetch all the elements, then you have to manually tag them, you have to manually insert into it. So that's a big task. React just makes it easier. Okay, then there are a lot of JS files which got imported. Injected JS, I believe this is from some extension which I'm using. And this is like React server components. So whatever is rendered about server. And notice one beautiful thing. What does this say? It is about. So it is basically this route. So if you were there in my session yesterday, this basically got prefetched So the about route is prefetched. So now if I go, it's like pretty instant navigation for me. If I go to structure, instant navigation. Go back home, instant navigation. It took a while, maybe my internet. So that's how it is prefetching things. And this is not extra code which I wrote. It is basically Next.js automatically knows, okay, there's these items are present in the navbar. There are links for that. There are links for it in the footer as well. So there is a very high chance the user might go there. So I will just prefetch the data when I am idle, so that the user will have a better experience. So that's how the entire concept of prefetching is working here. Okay. So community is also prefetched, instant navigation. So that's the beauty of using a framework. You don't have to do everything from scratch. Okay. So community is also prefetched, instant navigation. So okay. Now spy icon. What about now? What about now? Hello.
Yeah, now it's better.
Okay. Yep. So yeah, what I was telling is, I guess did you hear the prefetching one, or should I repeat?
Yeah, we understood. Like the next JS, like it prefetches the entire thing if it's ideal, like to make the user
Nice.
life better, the experience better.
Yes. Good. How much do you think should the ideal size of the image we have on website that it loads fast, like max size? It should be maybe like below maybe 10, 20 kbs. I don't know the exact number, but absolutely not in MBs. That's for sure. 100 kbs and all are acceptable, but if you can compress it, then it's much better. Like try to have it in like tens of kbs. So that will be like much better for your website. Okay. Now I am seeing all the API requests here. If I go to this form, uh, yeah, I don't have any interactive element in here. That's sad. Okay, it's fine. So these are the documents. Then you can see the fonts, JS, images, all those things. Okay, this was about the breadth of things. Now let's go to the depth. What is happening in the network tab? Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's come back here, and this is one thing which I actually realized very recently. You can right click and see so many other things which you are actually not shown while you are in here. Okay, just refresh the page. Let's talk about this thing, waterfall. Okay, I will just go to fetch check system. Okay, this is a good one. No, this, yeah. Okay, that's, I can show that. Okay, fine. Hmm, don't know what is might be the good part. Yeah, okay. So waterfall is basically, think about it like your, have you come across software development pipeline or something? Software development things. Like there are many methods, waterfall method, agile method, then like what you
Yeah,
call,
yeah.
there are various things. So waterfall is basically think about it like
I think, guys, you can introduce yourselves to one another, turning on your mic.
Hello guys, what's up? All good, Amrit Raj. What about you?
Hey, yeah, going well. I mean, surviving.
Okay, I'm back. Thank you. Guys, really sorry.
What that
Not in
Devesh?
my control. Only if I was Mukesh Ambani or someone, I could have told something, but I'm not. I mean, even he won't know, but yeah. Okay, coming back. Let me share my screen. Yeah. So basically, what I was telling about waterfall is, so think about it as your natural waterfall itself. So if I open this, if you see, this is like a, it shows the overview of when the process start, when it was actually supposed to start, how much time did it wait, and when did it finish. Okay, so basically this gray line is queue, means the process is ready to get executed, but the browser is not prioritizing it or the browser has not started executing it. So this particular thing, which is this request, which I randomly chose, was in queue for 0.97 milliseconds, which is like negligible, but for browser, every millisecond counts. So it was for 1 milliseconds, it was sitting in the queue just to get executed. Then it stalled for 2.36 milliseconds. Stalled is basically like maybe like it was waiting to get processed, like it ran, but there was something which was happening. Then there was a DNS lookup, which took 139 milliseconds. So DNS lookup is basically like it's trying to sort out what is the IP address of this particular domain which we are requesting to. Then it made a connection to that domain, which took another 134 milliseconds. And at the end, it like did that SSL handshake and all, like basically making sure that there is a secure connection established between the client and the server, which it's trying to connect to. So if you notice, when the DNS lookup ends, at that time only this initial connection starts. But the SSL has already started, even though the initial connection never ended. Like it started before it ended. The previous one ended. So you can tell this two are sequential. So the DNS lookup happens after that only initial connection happens. So initial connection is dependent on the DNS lookup. After that, SSL is not dependent on anything. It was dependent on something else which got figured out. So it just started to work on its own. Okay. Then this is in your simple things, like you can maybe use this for your API calls. So the request was sent to the server. It took only 62 microseconds. Then the browser spent 69 milliseconds to wait for the server to respond. After that, it only took 0.5 milliseconds to download the content which was sent by the server. So this is a waterfall. Okay. And it's a sequential waterfall. One thing is happening after the another. But if you notice, all these things which you see here has the common starting point, which means they all were fired in parallel. So the best place I can show you is here. If you see the pages about structure, communities, events, projects, all have common starting point, which means they were fired in parallel and they were not dependent on each other. And parallel is always faster because it is it will only take the time it is supposed to take. Not it's not depending on something which has yet to happen and after that only it will work. Okay. So that's about sequential waterfall and parallel waterfall. And whenever you are trying to make API calls, make sure if they're unrelated, always try to execute it parallel. It is difficult to do it with normal JavaScript, but with React query, it's pretty simple. Whenever we use used query in our app, if they are not dependent on any other like respond or any other variables, then everything will get fired by automatically, like by the tool itself. Like you don't have to worry about it. So everything will be parallel. So the parallel is the faster way of loading things. Okay. And also one more thing, if you see the priority is low here. because this is a prefetching thing, which should happen very late. Like once everything is done, then only prioritize this. Okay. Um, Initiator is basically like which particular file initiated this API call. And right now here it is like a random file because it's like what you call hashed by the server and all those things. So you want it's a production instance. That's why you won't see it. And these are the protocols by which it was used. H2 is like it's basically HTTP protocols, and there are multiple versions. There's version 1, version 2, version 3. So H2 is basically, I guess, the HTTP version 2, I believe, not sure. And it has the capacity of doing parallel requests, but some versions don't. I guess HTTP 1.1 doesn't have that thing. I just know the overview. Don't ask me in depth. Maybe like maybe you can do research. I'm totally fine. Okay, you can maybe read some blogs on HTTP 1, 2, 3 protocols, how each thing like actually works if you are curious. But in no way like you can actually what you call it won't affect you much because it's something which the browser is deciding whichever protocol is good and it tries to optimize it as much as it can. So if you want to dig deep and see like how you can micro optimize things, then you can try. Okay, people are raising hands. HTTP 1 or TCP, while TCP 3 uses UDP. Yeah. So that's a good one. Nice said. Maybe didn't know that. Okay, this for Wasm WebSockets. If you have any WebSockets connection, to show up here. Okay, and then there are some utility helpers, which is like preserve log. So now if you notice, if I refresh the page, the network tab will refresh. But if I preserve log, it won't refresh. So that it helps you debugging when you are changing from one page to another. You can see the all the requests. It won't refresh. And this is a very useful one, disable cache. So as I told yesterday also, and I'm totally telling today also, so 99% of the problems which you face while doing API call, and it is like you think this is something randomly happening, 99% of the times it's cache issue, and 1% of the times it's a dumb error made by the developer. So whenever you're trying to like what you call solve a issue in the API call or the response which you're getting, just disable the cache so that it won't give anything from like your cache, whether it's memory cache or maybe the browser cache or anything. See, now everything took some time to load. But if I don't disable cache, if I refresh once, I refresh again, there are some things which were stored from the memory cache. Okay, so if you want to avoid this, if you want to debug, just disable the cache. And this is one more thing. I guess I'm already in 3G or something. But if you want to have your site more slow, or if you want to know like how will the site behave when it is used in a very slow internet connection, just go to like any one of this 3G maybe and just refresh. And it should take eternity to load. So it will be good if you are developing some kind of sites which you want people from like very remote areas to use. So you can basically do this. And make sure you come back to no throttling, otherwise you will figure out why my site is slow. Yeah, that's for this part. Okay, I guess we are 8:30. I might continue maybe next maybe 10-15 minutes, and based on audience demand after that. Is it caching the whole website? No, it is not caching the whole website. It is just caching the JavaScript files, or it is caching the fonts, because you know it is the same font. Why you want to fetch it again and again from the server? I can just store it in my local, like store it in my pocket, and whenever I need, I will just take it up. Why I want to go to the store again and get it, go to the store again and get it? Because that rarely changes. Okay, that's the point of caching. And there are some disk cache also. So the memory cache is something like which is on your maybe browser memory. Disk is something like it is stored actually in some files or somewhere. And yeah, just if you want, dig deep into it, have some exploration. Maybe you can have a session just on like how disk cache is stored. That's something I will surely attend. Like if you can, like I'm just giving some future session ideas. For example, if you see something here which I'm just like covering on top, and you want to know like how it is actually working internally, just read about it, then maybe try to what you call give a session or informal talk which we all can attend. We also will learn some new things. For example, how the disk is actually storing the cache, how it is serving it, how it is actually invalidating it, or how is like HTTP 123 working, and then why it is using TCP, why it is using UDP, and why, like, how does React compile the React code into like your JavaScript code, or how does the browser set priorities for each and every request, why some requests go in parallel, why some requests go in sequence, and like what are the different HTTP status code and why they, like, this is one interesting thing. Okay, this actually I read about it somewhere. You'll notice here it is 304, which is like this HTTP status code, which is quite odd. So 304 is basically the server telling, or the browser knowing, like, the content didn't change for this thing. So don't parse or don't use the content which I just sent you. Just use the old one which you have. Okay, so telling more about it. So if you notice, if you just dig deep down into this response headers, here you will see something called as e tag. Okay, e tag is basically a hashed string which the server sends whenever you make a request. So the server, what the browser will do is, browser already has a e tag which the which it has from the previous request which was made for the same file. Okay, it will compare the previous e tag and the new e tag. If it is the same, then the browser will be like, no, I don't need to update it. I will just use the old one. If the e tag differs, then the browser knows, okay, this is a new content which I got from the server. I will use the new one. And the status code will be something different. It might be 200 or 200 or like 201 based on like what request you are performing. If it is and if it is same, it will just show 304. I didn't modify anything. This is how it was before, and this is how I got it now. So yeah, ticket. Cached, not exactly. It is like you're still getting from the server, but the browser is like trying to micro optimize thing by like skipping one step of like parsing things and building things again. Okay. Uh, about this. And yeah, this is a different topic by itself, like HTTP GET post methods and all those things. The HTTP status codes, the size. It's normal, like it's just you can understand by seeing it. If I enable everything, what is that scheme HTTPS? Remote address is the IP address which you are calling to. And if you notice, these IP addresses are different. I don't know why, but they are different. Okay, then there is remote address space, it's public. Cookies, whether it's sending any cookies or something, set cookies, whether it's setting any cookies, connection ID. This is a neat one. Wait, I added too many things. I can't fit it in. Uh, okay. So like whatever new connection which you make, right, using a protocol, that will have its own connection ID. So if you see it has same connection IDs, see this all the requests have same connection IDs, which means it is getting served by the H2 protocol and all are in parallel. So like all are happening with the H2 protocol. So each connection which the client makes to the server has its own connection ID. That's a beautiful rabbit hole to dig into actually. Yeah. So that if you are passionate about networks and how computer networks work, how computers communicate, how client and server architecture actually are built from inside, how the TCP handshake works, how the files are sent across multiple like servers or maybe clients. So it's pretty nice. Okay. Network tab. What else we have? We have as overrides. I don't know what it does, but yeah, we have that. Okay. Now coming to, let's see. We'll take one of this. This is the preview what you got. Response. If it's a post request, you can see a payload as well here. So what you actually send to the server. Um, Maybe I can try to demonstrate that here. I will just name it. Just give me a random name. Oh, how do I test my CSS?
HTTP.
Darshan Bandari. Darshan Bandari. Darshan at Dadavadu.
Bandari.gmail.com.
DK24.com.
Okay.
Phone number. College Vamari. AJIET. Year 5th part. Technical interest. There is some limit. I'll just cheat a little. Okay, hopefully my network tab is open. I'll just clear this out. I'll send a request, submit an application. It created a post request. It's a 200 OK, which means it got created in the backend. See the payload, what I sent to the backend. This is not encrypted. This is what I wrote. Okay, don't worry. Then it shows the preview, like what the server actually sent back to me. It's just gibberish. It didn't send much back to me. Okay. What about now?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay. And you can see the headers, like what and all headers were sent when I made the request. So we are not doing any sort of caching. And like each means some or the other thing. If it was cached on CloudFront, you would have seen like content cached by CloudFront or something. So all those things, like each and everything is something, like if I be totally be honest, each and one topic here can be a session by itself. You can just dig deep, like what is referrer, what is priority, how it is set, how does the browser know this should be this priority. So it's like basically programming is like a curiosity thing. Like you never know everything and you never know nothing. There's always something to explore and there's always something to learn. Okay. Oh yeah, now let's get into the final honorable mentions in this thing. I got a question in the chat. How do I feel test my CSS? Basically, acknowledgement from server. Yeah, correct. Question. Okay, testing your CSS. Okay. There's one neat thing which you have in this browser developer tools, which people don't know. Just like what I did was I came here, go to more tools, we'll see a bunch of tools. And this Beaker lab means it's experimental. Like there might be some bugs or like it's still not stable. Go this, capture overview. And this is a paradise for front-end developer. So many people use extensions for it. Even I used to use extensions, but browser natively supports this. It tells how many elements are there in the page, how many style rules are there. And the good part, what are the page colors? What's the color theme? Is there any contrast issues? Like there's a light text on a dark background or a dark text on a light background, and it's like blending on with each other. So it tells whether it's an issue. And it shows what and all fonts are present, how many times each font is used, and what are the things like we use this thing like vertical alignment, but it was never used by the browser. It was basically a useless property which you are using in our CSS. And the media query, we use this min width 768 pixels 12 times. So it's like something like if you want to like micro optimize the CSS which you are writing, and you can see the colors, all those things. That's pretty neat. Okay, so that's one honorable mention, CSS overview. I use it quite often when I go to a page which I like. Then there are sensors. This is a nice one. For that, no, I will do one thing. I will go to levels.fyi. Maybe no self plug. I know the code because I wrote it, so I can just give you across some edge cases which we figure out. Uh, Interactive office. Okay. So this has a date component. And right now, since I'm in India and I'm using English, it is showing it as like this. If I come back here, if I change my location to maybe which has some random thing, Shanghai, refresh, not date, I guess. Oh yeah, okay, it's oh yeah, not this one, above one. Okay, wait, let me go back. I mistold it. No override, refresh. Now if you see, here it is 5:30 a.m. GMT 5:30. This is our Indian GMT code or like the GMT difference. But if I go to maybe San Francisco, if I refresh, and it is 5 p.m. PDT, Pacific Daylight Time. So you don't need to actually buy ticket to San Francisco to test your website in how it will work in San Francisco. You can just use the location which is present. But now if you think, okay, I want to test it in maybe Thailand, but I don't have it, just go to Google Maps, get the latitude, longitude, maybe set the time zone, local and all, and just test it. You can add more also, like you can add a more location here. Okay, so no need to worry. And it gives like these are all pre-built, which it gives Tokyo, San Francisco, Mumbai. Okay, and this is about orientation. I don't know whether I can show it much here. Uh, it's like you can tilt your this thing mobile and see like how it is behaving. Like this is not a good website to show it. Then there is on this part. Don't think so. Yeah, this is about sensors. Let's go back to more tools. You learn something new every day, Javin. This is one I like a lot. Okay, this is the layers tab. Oh, tell me a good website which has like all the nice animations and all, which is like as a 3D effect, everything. Uh, any website? Framer. Oh yes, Framer. Framer. Okay, now if I open developer tools, if I just increase the size, you can see some things. See, if I like scroll the page, no, let me just, if I scroll the page, there is something like accordion here, which I'm changing. So how it looks actually is like this. So they have multiple pages which they have stacked horizontally, and whenever it changes, that basically scrolls into view. So this you can know like how they do those fancy little animations from this tab. And the best part, dun, it shows you a 3D view of everything. So the Z index is where it is actually positioned, how far away it is positioned. So this is basically Z index 0, I believe. This is little bit above it. So like if you're curious about how they do the animation, this is something which you can like mess around with. You can remove the paints and you can see like all the boxes which are present. Oh, I'm moved it too far. Okay. Yeah. So it's a neat little thing. Layers tab. I like it a lot. Okay, then coming down, a lot of things, but this is a important one, rendering. Okay, I'll come back to this page maybe. Uh, oh yeah, this is the best example to show it. I don't know whether Amrit Shenoff fixed it or not, but wait, you don't have flashmates.com. Flashmates.tech. Uh, yeah, I fixed it, man. Yeah, it was a very good one. Okay, so when I come down here, and if I turn on paint flashing, so whenever I hover over things, it will show me like what and all changed. But if I go to frame rendering stats, so it will show me the FPS. Now, since it's a like MacBook, it has 120 FPS. Like the Windows laptop or the other laptops might have 60 FPS. No need to worry. Oh no, I closed. Okay, let me come back. Frame rendering stats. So this you can like the optimal ballpark is your frame rate shouldn't drop whenever you are interacting with the page. Okay, so here it is dropping a lot. Not sure why. Let me check ours. It's a problem with my browser's processor or like laptop's processor, whether it's a problem. Hem rendering, frame rendering stats. Oh yeah, I guess it's. I'm doing a lot of things in my PC, so it is affecting that. No problem. Okay. So basically, whenever you do animation something, the frame rate shouldn't drop much. Okay, now it's fine. Before, when I used to do this animation, it used to drop to like 30 FPS or 40 FPS. So that's something you can notice here, the frame rate one. Then there is layout shift, which I told like whenever there's a shift or something shows up, there's a good one, which is emulate focus page is something like, uh, for example, if there is a drop down kind of thing, and whenever you try to inspect it, it just goes away because it's a like a interaction which you're doing, and when you click outside, it just exits. So you can just emulate a focused page, and you can have inspector element inside this. I can't find a website which will be doing that, but yeah. Scrolling performance is layer models. So like if anything re-renders, it will change. I use this one a lot. Like not here. There is one more good one. Honorable mention is go to more tools. There is, I guess it is called. Wait, I forgot what it's called. Memory inspector? No. Wait, let me remember. It's not rendering, not recorder. Wait, what was it called actually? So it shows you all the performance and all. Is it? Oh, yeah, it's performance monitor. Yeah, the answer was in the question. Okay. So if you see, this is something neat, like how much CPU is getting used when you are interacting with this site. But when I refresh, there will be a spike in the CPU, I believe. See, because the browser took that effort to fetch things and parse things and show it in the UI. So there is a spike in the CPU. And this is useful to find out maybe like something which is taking a lot of compute. Maybe you are running a very large computation in your website, or you are doing something which is consuming a lot of CPU. So you can just know like whether it's a problem with your site or it's a problem with something else by seeing here. So if whenever there is like a big spike here and it's just continuing, just so you can understand, okay, there is something in my code which is running a big computation and it's taking a lot of CPU. Okay. And you can see a lot of things here, like how much heap of JS is used, like how much memory it is using and all those things. So it's something like good for debugging. And it's like nice to have also on the side. Like it looks like we're actually doing something important. That looks good. Okay. So that's about this one. I don't know whether I have any other honorable mentions. You can just click each and everything. There will be one or the other thing which you will learn. One, I don't know. Let's click a random one. Let's click coverage. What does this do? Okay, I know what it does. It just shows you like how 62% of the like code was basically not used or something. Like this is redundant. And don't ask me how to fix it. Maybe you have to Google it or ask ChatGPT. But I know like this just tells you what things are getting used and what things are not getting used. Okay, and don't just go directly delete everything. Sometimes it might be because like it is already rendering a resource which might be used in the future, but this tab doesn't know it. So yeah, handle with care. Don't tell I told you to delete this thing because it is not getting used. Okay. Uh, Network request blocking. Oh yeah, this is a nice one. Okay, this will be a good one if, for example, let's go to something, maybe, I don't know what, Kadri, not Kadri, remember Kadri. It should show me Kadri. Yeah, I'm promoting Flashmates. Okay, Amrit, don't worry. Now you see there's one room. Oh man, damn this UI. Okay, so now we'll do one thing. Let's go a little fancy mode, refresh. Let's see from where this is getting fetched. There's a listing API call which is made, and it is sending me. I can just search maybe Kadri. You know, where it is sending me. Uh, wait, where can I see the data which I want? Let's close the developer tools, refresh again. I don't know why so many APIs are getting fired. Amrit might answer it. Okay. Okay, so it gives you the listing here. Yeah, here are the items and here are the listings. That's a listing image, I believe. This is the bucket which is using. Just needs.hotspot.com. request URL not found. Maybe I'm not allowed. Now, what if I block this? Block this request URL. So I blocked it. Now, if I refresh, I guess I won't see the listing. Oh, I'm seeing it. Then I blocked the wrong thing. Let's. So this too got blocked. Uh, it was cached or something. No, it's still getting rendered. Not sure why, but maybe it's like server side rendering it. I don't know. You can answer it better. But just note, like if you want to test out some UI with like, what happens if that API fails, or what happens if the API request is not available? Just like block the URL here and just refresh the page, and you can know, okay, what will be the page state when that particular resource or API doesn't load. So these are all the things which you can like improve on, like this, what you call user experience side of things. I saw somewhere that shouldn't use transition at all. Yeah, not transition, like what you call by itself. If you use transition all, then there's a high chance the frame rate will drop. That's what was the problem in Amrit Chenawaz's website also in this black mail. So use transition all. So what does all does is it will transition everything, like maybe width, height, padding, border, each and everything, which is not optimal. You just want to have transition on a particular effect, whether it is a scale effect or whether it's a translate effect. So just keep that in mind. Like all is easier to write, but just spend like 1 or 2 minutes extra by seeing like what particular property you want to translate. Okay. 1 second to find vulnerabilities in website. Yes, of course. Someone from cybersecurity sites can take it. Amrit might pay you also for that. I don't know whether he's there, but yeah. And he's logging things. User doesn't exist. Okay. I guess it's already 9 o'clock. I might close it here. There is one more good concept called as debugging, which you can just set up like pointers and you can stop the main thread right there before it executes that part. So I can refresh this and show you. Maybe it will work. No, it is little hard here because this is a production code. If it was a like local code, I could have known like which particular file I'm blocking. Let's block this use effect and try. No, no, in production it's difficult to test out. But yeah, if you are in development, you can just put a break, what you call debugging point, and you can make. Anyways, I came till here. I will just show it and go away. I'm not leaving any stones unturned. Oh my god, my eyes. Color theme. Synthwave. Yes. Let's run this. NPM. Okay. So going to the last segue of this thing. Okay, don't mind my UI skills, okay? Don't okay, no, that's not this process. That's a very shit one. And yeah, if you are trying to do all these things in Firefox developer tools, all the best. Have my best wishes with you. Never ever open Firefox developer tools. Pretty shit. I tried 2 days, then I came back to Chrome. Okay. Yeah, let's come to sources. Now, if you see, this is the code which I can read. Or if I go perfectly and refresh. Now this one. Where do I find the code? Localhost 3000. It's still optimizing it or something. Dot next folder. Where it is not. Okay, why did it pass it? Okay, this is something which I can read at least. Maybe I can go to page.tsx. Okay, yeah. This is the actual code which I wrote. This will be found in file. I guess it only shows up in like you can see the comments and all. I guess it works in I don't know whether it will work in production app. Check it. I can test it out. There's a there is no file at all here. Okay, yeah, you won't see it in production apps, but in development apps, you can see this file, and there you can see the actual code, which is like actual React code, which you just wrote. Now let me block this when I am making this response. Refresh. Refresh. Okay, yeah, wait, not here, not here. That is the post request. Let me block it right here. Refresh. See, it blocked the main thread. Now nothing will run. I guess it doesn't block the main thread. If it blocks, I can't even do this. I guess it just simulates blocking main thread. So now I can go next. It will go to the next line. Oh, it just finished because let me do this fetch people. Okay, it's a better one. Yeah, so I can go next. Oh, yeah, I can go next here. It will go inside the function. Oh, no, it just jumped the function. Man, wait, I'm missing it out. It will go inside the function. No, go inside, man. Maybe I called it in the wrong place. Let me run it here instead. Mistakes happen. Now it should go. Okay. That's not how it's supposed to work. I mean, if I'm missing something. Yeah, so basically you get the gist. I don't know what is going wrong. Maybe I'm too much tired and doing something random. So basically you can block the main thread and you can debug. And I don't use debugger a lot, but I use it. When I use it, it means like the shit just got serious. Like I tried all the possible way of finding the solution. I couldn't way. And then my last resort was just pulling up a debugger and just like log in and see what is happening. And it actually helps you a lot because it will show you all the variables which are present. If I go here, you can see all the local variables. You can see the function. You can see what this is storing. What are the functions? Then what are this, but is loading is true. People is like an empty array. So it's basically you don't have to write a bunch of console logs. It will show all the variables here with the values. And as you go into the function call, it will update the values in real time. So it gives you an overall understanding where things are going wrong. So for example, if you think, okay, after this line executes, it should go into this function and it's execute this line. But that's not happening. It's just going to some random place. So there you can catch, okay, there is some logic error which I did there. Or if you have some if conditions and if you're trying to figure out, okay, it should render this, but accidentally it has rendered this. Why? So just go open the developer to lock in and see like, okay, this is the variable, it should go this. Oh, okay, this variable was this, that's why it went there. Yeah, that's basically a good way to think. You cannot logger directly, yeah, you can just right click and add logger. It's something like add log point. So you can log it here also. And yeah, however you prefer.
Log
Yeah,
point
that's about it.
actually. Actually, for me, right, most of us will put console.log everywhere in our code base to check everything is
Correct.
working or not. And then at some point, you might put it in production, and then the seniors will be like, Joyven, why is there a console there? We need to remove this.
The seniors didn't do a good work reviewing your PR.
So yeah,
You should tell them that it was supposed you should have checked it before merging it.
yeah. Initially, go to
Okay.
the dev branch, right? So then they'll be like, once they run, no, so they'll see, and then it's not a good thing. Usually, there is a way to block all consoles in the browser. I think it changes when you are in developer environment and production environment.
See, this is the flame graph which you get in React. I have a
Hmm.
blog post on this actually. Like if you want to, I don't want to cover it now. It's again a 1 hour, another half an hour thing. Level setup as class blocks. Okay, my bad. Blog. And it's here optimizing a React performance. So I wrote this. You can just link it in the chat. So there I have mentioned like, oh, maybe I should have given this. I link both, whatever you feel like. This has more blogs. I am trying to be consistent, trying writing blogs, but yeah, you can find. So how I fix some rendering issues. Yeah, React rendering is like another 1 hour topic. Don't want to get into it. I'm hungry, and my battery is about to die. Yep, time for Q&A. There are 46 people left. Okay, that's more than expected actually. That's good. Hopefully, like people got to know at least 1 or 2 things which they never knew, and it will boost your development game. And if you found something interesting on whatever I showed you, and if you think maybe I can do it in a better way, or whatever session ideas I gave in middle where I went in a spree of telling like what, why, how. So if you are interested in digging deep into that concept and maybe presenting it in DK24 session, we are more than happy to host you, because that's the entire point of this community, to have a intermediate to advanced level of learning, which is not taught in like most of the YouTube videos, which is focused towards beginner, and it's never taught in colleges. Okay. So, and all these things I learned, like some of it I learned from like a senior developer. He is like very much into it. Some of which I learned in blog posts. Some of it I learned in like while just randomly opening the developer console during my work time, maybe I don't know, and just like trying to see what each and everything is doing and just experiment. Experiment is the best way of learning. There are a lot more tabs. Like whatever I showed is just like maybe the top of the iceberg. There's still depth possibly. Yeah. One important thing, like if I would like to have a session on, like if someone is interested to do, is the flame graph. If anyone can do this, like I will be logged in your session, pakka. Because this is something like which is kind of an intermediate level, and it takes a lot good amount of understanding of things like how this thing is exactly working. Because even I don't know much. See, there is a commit. I don't know what is the commit, and what is prepaint. I don't know. So I mentioned that there is a pipeline. What happens when a browser renders something? So there will be something called as prepaint. Just putting forward possibilities. So yeah. Again, same thing. I'll repeat. Q&A, or maybe we can wind up. It's been like around 1 hour, 2 hours, I guess. People were there from like 7:15. I was surprised. Yeah. Do we have a feedback form? Just like share the feedback form across, and we can like collect some more session ideas. I guess someone mentioned DevTools, or it was Joyvin who mentioned. I'm not sure. I believe the next session which we'll be having is on no-code tools. We got some requests on no-code tools because there are a lot of opportunities in no-code as well. Not everyone will be a developer. And I guess Kirtik might be taking it. We'll announce the date soon. So it will be on NA10 and Napkin AI, I believe. So that will be a good thing because I don't know both NA10 and Napkin AI. So like it's a good way of learning. Most probably it will be next to next week, like every second like weekend, what we committed. Yep. I guess I answered one session on backend concepts, please. I'm not that good of a backend person, I can tell you, but yeah, like in general, like people just take it up. Whatever idea you have, just DM us or maybe put it in the cluster. Everyone will appreciate it. Good session. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sultan.